I'm not a patient person by nature. It's pretty bad, but over the past year or so I've been working a lot on getting better at this. It's affected different aspects of my life in different ways, and we're going to talk about that today. Mostly the aspects of skill acquisition. Looking back at things, I was a lot better at learning new things when I was younger. I think we all are. Now, some things that I took up when I was younger that weren't school tasks were taekwondo, piano, touch typing, Unix internet usage of all things, just to name a few that, like I said, aren't school subjects. Of those, I'd say I stuck with all of them for a while, except for maybe piano, which wasn't something that I chose, but I wish I had stuck with it because I'd really like to be able to play the piano now. Of all these things, I think touch typing was probably the most useful thing that I've kept throughout this, and it's helped me out the most in my day-to-day life. Even though the reason I learned to do it was to play MUDs on a Unix internet connection, and that's not necessarily the best reason to learn to touch type, but it made learning fun and secondary. I also think, hey, I could learn Linux command line pretty easy, but I've never actually sat down to try and relearn how to do that, but that's a different video for a different day. I think Taekwondo probably has the most to do with the topic that we're talking about today. I started Taekwondo in probably middle school, and I continued through till high school. I stopped for a year or so at the beginning of college and then rejoined a different school at my college. Now, I don't know what kept me going through those early days of being so uncoordinated that I couldn't throw a kick or punch to being able to do so with some proficiency. I suspect, running around the backyard pretending I was an action hero helped out quite a bit with just some practice over time. And the allure of getting a new belt for learning my forms and being able to perform them proficiently, and the wanting to be a black belt so bad had a lot to do with my sticking with it through those early days. However, as time went on, the allure of the different belts had less to do with why I wanted to continue versus getting better and learning the skills absolutely. Now, some of this had to do with I switched to an Olympic style, which is full contact Taekwondo, and getting better so that you don't get hit quite so much has a lot of benefit. And I don't know which playing in the backyard versus doing a bunch of crunches so it doesn't hurt quite so bad counts as better reason for practice as you get older, but there we are. I went through it and I stuck with it, and over a long period of time I gained a decent amount of skill. I'm not going to say I'm the best person at Taekwondo ever, far from it, but that continued practice gets you a long ways. That brings us to the next point in our discussion, which really inspired this whole idea here. About a year and a half ago, my employer shut down, which had me being fairly sedentary. Now, I one day looked in the mirror and didn't like what I saw, so I decided to do something about it. I started weightlifting fairly consistently, or consistently if you'd prefer. Now, about 38 pounds and 7% body fat later, I'm pretty happy with my results. It wasn't the case when I first started out. I was checking the mirror after every workout, trying to gauge my progress. I knew enough to just take pictures every month or so and compare those pictures. But my lack of patience was really getting the better of me a lot of those times. Now, after about a month or so, I wasn't seeing that much of a difference in the pictures and I was getting discouraged, but I had to keep telling myself, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We'll get through this. And I kept pushing, and 3 months later, finally oh wow, there's some difference in these pictures. 6 months after that, I'm like, there's a significant difference in these pictures. And a year later, wow. Now through this process, I think I've relearned something that other folks know, is that, applied consistency over a long period of time is a very powerful thing. And, you know, the point of this video isn't so much to, you know, inspire people to try and go out and get in shape, although that's an excellent goal and, you know, great power to you if you decide to go do that. It's well worth the journey. It's very rewarding. But more the idea here is to, you know, choose something else and see how good we can get with it over a longish period of time, like a year or so. To that end, I've decided to embark upon a sim racing journey. I've chosen iRacing for a couple reasons. You know, I think that the results should be somewhat measurable. Two, I think it'll be fun. So to that end, we're gonna just start doing iRacing and grinding it out, getting better, hopefully, over the coming year or so. I've already been doing it for a couple months and the results so far seem somewhat promising. Also, along that way, I want to get better at Twitch and YouTube, hopefully grow this channel and my Twitch channel. So to that end, here's the part where we decide to promote stuff. Go ahead, follow this channel. I'll be posting updates. I want to try and make maybe like a weekly video recapping how the week of iRacing went. And then if you want to see things live, I'll be broadcasting most of my journey on twitch.tv/thepiltdownman. Link will be in the description below. And you know, hey, while we're at it, you know, if there's something that you've wanted to do and you want to try and get better at, leave a comment down below. What are you going to practice at? How are you going to go about getting that practice done? Some things take a long time, and you know, documenting that progress is pretty important. Needing to be able to see start and end point and your progression along the way is pretty necessary. So how are you going to document that so you can actually see that you're getting better? Day to day, things don't change that much, but over a long period of time, things can change significantly. Till next time, guys. Have a great day.